Okay, for this take apart, I'm actually going to mix stuff up and start backwards. So we're starting from a tape measure that my daughter took apart halfway, and I took it apart the other half, trying to get it together. And so we've got all the parts, and we're going to put it back together to see how it works. So this is the tensioner spring. Usually you don't see this at all. Here's the outside shields. Here's the spool. The tensioner spring goes on. And yeah, so we've got one big clue on how this goes back together, and this is this coil right here. A couple of things that that tell me about it is the way that it's spinning. So it means that I probably want to wrap it this way. The other, I don't know if you can see that, is this flat area in the very, very center of that spring, which means likely that that's where it fit in there. So let's get started. I'm gonna unwind this a bit. Right now it's all a mess because it's twisted. But as I twist it, it should hopefully come out nice. And I'm going to do that for a while and then start it spinning, and we'll get back there from there. Okay, so I've not only unwound it a bit, but I've untwisted it, so this is in a better shape just to get started, I think. So now I'm just going to start rolling and see where I end up. Okay, I started with spinning and spinning, and one of the frustrations that I ran into is things would still get sometimes the outside would go on the inside of the coil. So I think I'm going to rethink how I'm doing this. I think I've got it all spinning the same direction. So I think I'm actually going to start on the outside where this interesting piece is. This is the piece that actually fits on, let me see if I can find it somewhere, the end of the actually tape measure, and it does this nice lock thing. So I'm going to actually start in the spool, and the spool will help me keep it going the right direction, hopefully without popping out too much, without popping out at all. So I'm just going to start there and start feeding it into the spool like so, and see if that does any better than the way I was going before. Okay, so wow, yeah, this is definitely the way to go. After a bit of untwisting and unwinding, it's kind of just kind of all fallen out. So my general approach is to get it in there, kind of twist small, and then it actually gets bigger as the rest fits in. And so this is just working out for me really nice. Hopefully in about another 30-40 seconds I should be all done with that. Okay. So that took a little longer than I expected, about a couple minutes. Mostly due to this part right here, flipping around and catching on this, and the inside spinning, and you can see I used to have that tab out here, and it went inside, which meant this whole thing switched, but hopefully I can grab that out. Great. Okay, so we're all back in here, and so now I need to figure out which way it actually goes on. So two things to think about is how the tape attaches and where it comes out. Actually, it comes out right here and goes this way, like that. So this is going to need to go, assuming like this. That makes this sense to me. The other thing to think about is how this spins and tightens. So instead of putting it on and spinning it this way, like it's going to need to retract, what we're going to need to do is actually have it spin the other way, so when it's loosened, so we're tightening it this way, so when we let go, it should spin back this way, pulling the tape in as the inside loosens. So basically, as you pull the tape out, it tightens the tensioner spring, and then as we let go, it loosens it. So I'm going to mess around with it to see what I can figure out. Alright, so yeah, I was right as far as the tightening. So I've got the end, so the spiral part, remember how I mentioned that there's the flat part, and it goes on the spool. So when I spin it this way, the way that I said I thought it should go, we can see it's actually tighten. That's not good, but it's actually tightening. I don't know if you can see that, but it's actually tightening the tensioner spring. So I'm going to get this put back together, and then I'm going to spin it a lot. Oops, one part I forgot about as I started getting going is the top of the spool. Okay, one thing I've found when taking things apart and putting things back together is whenever you see something odd, it's kind of a good clue that whoever designed it was solving a particular problem. Now, one of the problems I was having is as this was spinning, this little thing right here would spin back inside, and I'd have to undo it. Now the other problem I had is this little tab right here. It just wasn't fitting when I was trying to put it in. You see that this would be right against the side, and I tried to, stuff it in there. It just wouldn't fit. So then it occurred to me, hey, maybe these two problems are related. So I was looking at it and thought, hey, maybe if I aligned these tabs right here at the opening, it would jam this shut and hold it firm. And sure enough, it does. So there's kind of a lesson in looking at how something was engineered and looking for odd things as a clue to how it actually might go together. Alright, so I got it back together the way I thought it did. I actually tried a few ways to see which way was the best, and seems actually my first guess was right. Or at least the one that offered the most resistance as far as the sliding. So I'm just going to go with that. And now, again, for the third time, fourth time maybe, I get to try to put this back on, and need some pliers to see if I can fit how that goes. Come on. There we go. Sometimes you just get lucky. Alright. So now I start spinning. And let's hope this turns out well. Alright, so I was spinning, got pretty far, and the whole thing slipped back in. So I got it back out, and I thought, hey, it'd be nice if it didn't spin, and if it was span back, it would actually catch. So I bent this part back, and it broke off. So pretty frustrating. Pretty typical. So I guess my solution options are to toss the whole thing, or to figure out another way to attach the tensioning belt. The tape was so cheap, I'm really tempted to just toss it, but I think I'm actually gonna see if I can cut out these parts or bend them out with pliers. So basically I just need to make some indents. Let me see if I can. It feels like it's tearing, maybe. Hey, yeah, look at that. Kind of just bending back and forth. We'll see if that works. Wow. That's kind of surprising. Wow. How's that? Where's the end? And that still fits. How about that? Could have tossed a completely useful and good $5 tape, but no. I fixed it. So, a couple things to learn from that. Don't bend tensioned steel, it breaks. And it's very brittle, so you can also rip out pieces if you need. So moving on, I'm going to try to wind it again and figure out some other way, like maybe I'll tape it or something. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get some tape. Maybe. Packing tape. Really the best tape in the world. I don't know why that stupid duct tape gets so much attention. I hate this stuff. It's sticky. It actually doesn't stick well, but it is sticky. Who knows? Alright. Duct tape, or packing tape, super strong, sticks well, but comes unstuck without leaving that sticky residue. Alright, gonna put the thing back on, twist some more, see what happens. So that's worked surprisingly well. I don't know if you can see, but I've got most of it is now wrapped around the center, which to me seems like it's probably good enough. I might give it a few more spins, attach the tape measure, and see what happens. Alright, so I got to the point where I'm going to stop. This is what I love about packing tape. Stuck really well, but when I tried to get it off, it came right off, no problem. Not even sticky. Alright, so let's get this baby. Pop it on. The thing that I don't quite understand is what's keeping that from spinning back. See, I'm actually not holding it. Like it does kind of spin back, but I don't know. To me, this thing should just go whoosh and just fly. So let's look at this. Here is our tensioner that I just did something to. Alright. So when you push this spring, it opens it, and so it seems to just be, there it goes. Seems to just be a clamp that holds it. And the spring went flying. Awesome. So my guess is something's wrong. Why this isn't spinning back, I noticed this a few times, but so it should be spinning back. It's not. I don't know why. So I am actually going to call this a learning project. I think I'm just going to scrap it because it was $5, and took it apart, took it more apart, tried to fix it a few times, and learned a lot. So hopefully that was useful to you, even though I didn't fix it all the way. I learned a lot, and that was, to me, that was great.